To all interested inhabitants of the town of Sutton, in accordance with provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 11, the Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing at the Sutton Town Hall on September 5th, 2019, at 7 p.m. on the petition of Teresa Carnes. The petitioner requests a special permit, Section 7A2, as it pertains to Section 1C 3D of the town zoning bylaws for the construction of a detached garage on a pre-existing, non-conforming lot. The property that is the subject of this petition is located at 126 Worcester Providence Turnpike, as shown on Assessor's Map number 10, parcel number 23. The property is located in the B2 Business Highway Zoning District. A copy of the petition may be inspected during normal office hours in the town clerk's office located in the town hall. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on this variance petition should appear at the time and place designated. Daniel Petrelli, Board of Appeals Clerk. Welcome.
Thank you.
If you could just state your names for the record and then give us a little bit about your petition.
Okay, Teresa Carnes and Lindsay. So we are petitioning to, we actually did apply for a regular permit for this. And then when they came in, staked it out, kinda, we saw exactly where it was. It was basically going to be sideways in our front yard, was the only way we could do it. And in ledge, and just exactly wrong for the property. And I don't know if anybody's been up there to see it, but
Yeah.
it would have been basically in front of the farmer's porch. And, you know, it's, where we're petitioning to have it is straight ahead, end of the driveway, you know, straight pull in, and that's it.
I think I've been to
because
this
it's-
property before. It's like a very high slope.
Correct.
You gotta go through John's auto body
Correct.
to get into the, yeah, okay.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, tough winter, want a garage. Wouldn't have bought the house if we thought we couldn't get the garage. As Lynn knows, I was calling before we even put an offer on the house, if, trying to get a handle on if we could do this, and there was no answer, but we wouldn't have bought it if we couldn't have done it.
You must have gotten that like just this past year, right?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
Within
In
3
May.
months, yeah.
For sale, yeah.
or June,
3 months, yeah.
yeah.
I don't see a plan in here. What exactly is it that you're looking to build?
So it's a two-car garage, well, it is the structure of a two-car garage. Len drives a truck, and, but he hobbies with woodworking, cutting boards, things in my home. And, so we're gonna have half of that, he's gonna just have as his woodworking stuff.
So the dimensions, the approximate size?
28 by 30,
28
20.
by
yeah,
by 30.
two-car garage.
And it's gonna have the two garage doors so that in the event he doesn't use it as that, it can still be sold as a two-car garage.
And what about the second floor?
Just storage. It's gonna be a 5 or a 6 pitch, so it's very little room up there.
Okay.
Is there like a big cliff on the backside here?
Yes,
Yeah, so this would be right near that cliff?
about 10 to 20 feet away from that, yes.
Yeah.
It will take up part of the driveway.
Right, okay.
So what's the existing garage?
So there's one down at the bottom, but, and that is just, I mean, it's kinda useless
You have to
down
walk
there.
all the way up the hill to get
Yeah,
to the house.
we're not
It's-
gonna use that.
If she has to park there in the winter, it's,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah,
But it's gonna remain there though, right?
yeah.
yes.
Not gonna take it down, okay.
Do you have a plan with you at all? What it might look like? Like a,
Yeah, I think I do.
Cool.
awesome, thank you.
same one that was submitted to the
Yep,
building?
yeah, it was the same one that was passed for the,
So the old plan that you rejected when you saw them stake it out, it would have been like right here-ish? It's hard to see.
yeah.
Sort
Do
of
you
like,
mind if I come up there?
Nope, come on up.
like here-ish is where they wanted it before?
Yeah, with the offsets, it would have landed right there.
It's just right in your front.
With the roof line below the porch, and we've been looking at the roof, so.
Okay, cool.
Too much money to spend for something that you wouldn't have been happy with.
Yeah, you wouldn't like looking at that. Yeah.
You're not finishing the inside of that at all?
No, it'll still be a garage, yeah. The plaster walls, obviously, but yeah.
So overall height, about 9, 16,
There'll be 8 foot
17,
walls inside.
17
Yeah.
feet to the peak.
So it'll be insulated and heated?
Correct. One side will be heated, the other side will not.
I hope it's the side for her car.
No.
Might wanna rethink that. So Lynn, you have a copy of that plan already?
Yes.
With her- Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, do we have any more questions? Do you guys feel a site visit necessary?
I don't feel super strong about a site visit.
Yeah, I don't either. Okay. Is there anyone here who would like to speak for or against this petition? I see none. All right, I think we don't need a site visit, then I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We'll do a work session in a little bit, and you can either stick around or check in with Lynn tomorrow and see how it went.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Come on up, folks.
It's not mine, really.
To all interested inhabitants of the town of Sutton, in accordance with the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Section 11, the Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing at the Sutton Town Hall on September 5th, 2019, at 7:05 PM on the petition of Michael Russo. The petitioner requests a special permit, Section 7A2, as it pertains to 1C 3D of the town zoning bylaws for the construction of a shed on a pre-existing non-conforming lot. The property that is the subject of this petition is located at 12 Brookside Drive, as shown on Assessors Map number 12, parcel number 258. The property is located in the R1 Residential Zoning District. Copy of the petition may be inspected during normal office hours in the town clerk's office located in the town hall. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on this variance petition should appear at the time and place designated. Daniel Petrelli, Board of Appeals Clerk. Welcome, folks. State your name for the record and tell us a little bit about this.
My name is Byron Andrews, Andrews Survey and Engineering. This is Mr. and Mrs. Russo. They are requesting a special permit. What they wish to do is build a 14 by 12-foot shed They also want to build a 14 by 10 pavilion. Both of those are shown on the plan. However, it is only the shed that needs a special permit. The purpose of the shed would be to, hold supplies for yard work, pool supplies, snow blower, the normal things that, people need in their yard. And the problem with this lot, it has two constricting factors. One is the shape. It's pie-shaped, so that there's not much room in the back. And also the topography is fairly steep. The house and the pool are kind of at the top of a knoll. And it drops down behind that. You can see on the plan, there's a, behind the pool, kind of where the pavilion is going, there's a retaining wall, a boulder retaining wall, which, holds up the slope. So there aren't really a lot of good places to put the shed. The only other real options would be by the driveway in the front yard or on the other side on the front yard. And that would make an awkward position. It would reduce its utility, and the neighbor presumably would not be interested in having it there in the front yard. The neighbors, Monica Nerona and Justin Oscillo, they have signed a letter, which you have, a registered letter, stating their support for the shed.
They're the butter that's on the side that would be impacted by the shed.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate the color photos, it's very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Number
figured
two
more
is,
information than,
no, it's good.
thank you, Lynn, by the.
Is number two, this would be the view from the abutters?
This,
Gotta be
yeah,
covered
so
from
the trees in
there.
the center are in between our property. You can actually see the stake right
Yeah.
there in the line.
Mm-hmm.
Right where you see the basketball net at the end of, at the driveway, that's kind of where the shed is being proposed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think within any situation that, that Byron also has mentioned too, that we could get around not meeting that 10-foot barrier because of this retaining wall in the back.
Yeah, no, I see that. Yep.
It's incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
We did entertain the idea of putting the shed up on the pool deck area, but then that means dragging the snow blower and the lawnmower down stone steps to get, and that just is not feasible.
Yeah.
I won't be doing that in the winter, I'll tell you that.
Am I understanding correctly, you're gonna have to remove some trees?
Yes, so in the pictures, let's just see. If you go to picture number 3,
Mm-hmm.
there is a large rock right there
Yes.
that will be removed down to ground level because the shed will pretty much be sitting right on top of it. And just to the left of that rock
Mm-hmm.
is a very large tree. That one is getting removed
Mm-hmm.
as well, and that's on our property.
Mm-hmm.
There are some small little trees here that we are gonna remove just to clean up, and we're gonna put in some nicer trees to create,
Some arborvitaes for privacy.
to privacy, yeah, so anything we're moving.
And the abutters were aware that the trees are coming down?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've
We
walked
have
them through every single
marked
thing
the
we're doing.
trees and, yes, they are, and they're getting married in their backyard actually this weekend, so we didn't wanna start anything. Obviously, we don't have the approval, but we didn't wanna even start anything until their wedding is over and done with, so we didn't wanna disrupt their.
There'll still be some stuff remaining for privacy.
Absolutely, so there are evergreens there, that you can see in like picture number 2.
Mm-hmm.
There will be evergreens there. They do on the back side of their property. They do have a water feature back there and a nice little sitting area. But there are, again, will be evergreens that are staying there.
Yeah, so what's the
And
big one that comes down? Is that the hardwood or the evergreen that we see here?
Not the evergreen,
Not
the
the evergreen,
hardwood.
okay.
Yeah, the one
Yeah,
closest to our,
we're not touching any evergreens, just oaks.
yeah,
I mean, it's like there's probably like little guys that are gonna have to.
Correct.
yeah.
And that's where the arborvitae's will go back in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It'll actually increase some of the privacy that right now you can actually see straight through.
Oh, I see.
so even if you look at picture number 4, it's this very large tree right here.
Yeah,
And
okay.
actually, it's one big stump, but it splits into 2 trees,
Oh,
really,
right.
to be honest with you, so. And then the rock is just, you can see it shadowing right there on the bottom left.
All right. Jim, any questions? I don't see anyone in the audience.
There's no one left.
My neighbors wanted to come, but I said, no, your future fiance will kill you if you're getting married in 2 days to come to a meeting in town hall.
Oh, really? All right, any other questions from the board? All right. Does everyone feel about a site visit on this one? I think
It's-
Actually got the
I think they provided us with a site visit.
Yeah, I really, this is really great,
Yeah.
actually.
Thank
Can we require this from now on?
Yeah.
Just.
you. CVS is wonderful.
All right, if there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Oh, second.
All those in favor? All right, we'll do a work session in a couple seconds, and
Thank you.
we'll let you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So we have some information Lynn provided for us on the other towns' filing fees.
Appreciate the research,
Yeah,
Yeah.
printing one.
some homework for everybody.
Yeah.
Take the opportunity to thumb through it and see what kind of changes we need to make,
Mm.
if any, to our fee schedule.
Mm. The other one that we had talked about is for things like comprehensive permits, and I think I noticed at least two of the towns had a special fee for that instead.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was more than two.
I think Worcester was one of them.
Oh.
But those are substantially higher, which makes sense because it's a very long process.
There's also cell towers as well.
Yeah.
There was one town where there was a set fee,
Right.
For our town.
a substantial set fee.
Yeah, for Worcester, I think. Is that right?
Because it's blank, we have no fee, right? It's just is what it is.
Because it's what?
Because it's blank here, there's no,
Yeah,
same fee.
pretty much wherever you see a blank, I'm assuming, for example, where they have a request for an extension. The reason why I left it blank is because, of course, they have to come back for another hearing. It has to be advertised, so the cost is gonna be the same as, for
A fresh filing.
example, a
Gotcha.
fresh
Yeah.
filing.
Right.
It's something to consider.
There
yeah.
are a couple in there that have a set fee, so I just threw those in, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, $300. Uxbridge.
I mean, I think that's pretty responsible, you know?
Yeah.
It's, like, I know it just gets eaten up in the general fund somewhere, but, you know, if we're having to send new mailings and we're gonna have to pay for it,
yeah.
it should be on the applicant.
Again, the cost should be covered.
Yeah.
What we're charging now per butter, and as I had mentioned, I think the set cost per butter
Mm-hmm.
is good.
I think it's very fair, yeah.
Because we've had numerous, hearings that included the condos.
Yeah.
And I think I noted that sometimes it's over 100 butters.
Yeah.
So, that cost needs to be taken care of, and I think if we do that individual per butter, that's gonna take care of that,
Yeah.
versus a set
No
fee of,
one's-
say, 250 or,
No one's underpaying, no one's overpaying.
Yeah.
They're just paying for what it costs to get the
right.
mailings out.
And we do mail certified,
Yes.
which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the other towns don't do that,
I see.
so,
What is the cost of sending a certified
That's
letter?
my question.
right now, it's $5.60 for the
Mhm.
first mailing
Mhm.
and 50 cents for the second.
Mm-hmm.
I I think the certified is good. I think it takes,
Oh, I
you
do
know,
too.
Yep.
I do
any
too.
chance of someone not
They
being
can't say they
notified.
didn't get the
Right.
notice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess my other question, before I lost it, hold on. I noticed Millbury, you know, there's some towns charge different rates for commercial versus industrial, which I think is
Mhm.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one? Crud.
Tax form?
The tax form, yeah,
Yeah.
that was interesting. Oh, I guess at some point, I don't know where this would be, but I think it would be interesting to see like how much the ZBA fees are out of the the general fund.
I know.
I know it's in there, but, you know, it would be good just to have that broken out,
Yeah.
if somehow that could happen in the, you know, the sometime future.
So what
I
we
think-
take in annually in fees, is that,
Yeah, I just wanna know, I would wanna know, just for transparency, like,
Yeah.
are we actually, you know, in the black for fees, you know, which is fine, it's in a general fund or whatever, but are we actually in the red, and
Right.
is,
Because then we should.
cause then we could even, we'll have more data to say,
Yeah.
okay, well, maybe our fees are low, or maybe we need to have them higher, you know?
I think like material costs we could figure out pretty easily, and then stuff like Lynn's time is harder to.
Yeah, no,
To
I'm thinking of
measure, you
just
know,
like materials,
just
like
material costs,
mailings, materials, printing.
well, right now, we only make we net out 90 cents on each
Mailing,
mailing.
right.
So.
And that covers
you know,
printing costs. Like, do we track printing costs separately?
No,
So that's
that 90 cents
Yeah.
would be the
The cost, yeah.
envelopes, the paper, and the printing.
Yeah.
I assume we hit this number 7 at some point.
It's
and
been
that
$7 for a lot of
I
years.
was gonna say, I'm sure like
Costs have gone up.
inflation has adjusted things,
Yeah.
so it's
Which
possible
is-
that's too low at this point. I don't know.
I can't remember the last time we did fees.
Oh, this has been,
I've been here a long time.
I think we've been 7 since Jim's been here. Because I think it was
So
changed through
my
him.
my point in that question was, I noticed some towns have like a hardship appeal type of process where it's like, oh, I forgot which town it was, but there was basically like, you know, if you can't afford to pay these things or something, you can appeal the fee schedule. There was
Yeah.
one of the towns had that.
I think I saw that too, right?
That would have to be something that you guys would have to,
Because then
Research
you'd have
and-
to run a bit of a
I can-
excess to then cover the people who apply for that. You know.
If they're applying for a special permit, though, they're undergoing construction
Right,
activities, so
yeah.
I think a hardship
On
is
their
pretty hard
property.
to demonstrate if
Yeah.
you're
I
about to
saw-
build a new garage.
I've never
That's
run
what I
up
was just gonna
against
say,
that.
yeah, I
I saw
mean,
something.
yeah, hardship on the
Spending
fees, but
every
you're gonna
last
build a new
penny
garage
on
or
this.
something, yeah. I mean,
I think we need to take a real look
Yeah.
at what our costs, I mean, right now, I think that the answer is what we take in is pretty much exactly
Yeah.
what goes out. So
Right.
I don't think that there's any,
Mm-hmm.
not even factoring in, you know, the time associated with doing any of it.
Sure,
right?
sure.
So,
Well, I guess if everybody can take a few minutes and look through it.
Yeah.
and
Next
then
month, we can
next month,
Yeah.
well, if we
kick
we
some,
won't even have
Oh.
a meeting next
Fee
month.
waivers, that's what
No?
it was. It wasn't like
Yeah.
a.
Nobody on the docket.
No,
Okay.
still have time.
you got plenty of time, well,
It was fee waivers, not like a hardship appeal.
I see.
There's a, you know,
What does it say about it?
Douglas, zoning board may waive or reduce an administrative fee if in the board unusual circumstances exist regarding the subject property of the applicant.
Hmm.
You know, so, it's just something to consider.
I was going through Douglas, they've got a lot of different
Yeah, it's like a,
things that they address.
Mm.
yeah.
All right, well, we can revisit that at our next meeting, whether it's
Sounds
next
good.
month or not.
Cool.
Then we also have a set of minutes from July. If everybody has reviewed them, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes
Make a
dated
motion
July 11.
To approve the July minutes.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, I entertain a motion to open a work session. Why don't we do petition of Michael Russo first?
Sure. We'll get these guys on their way.
I'll make a motion to open the work session.
I'll second that motion.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, the petitioner is requesting a special permit to construct a shed on their pre-existing non-conforming lot.
I'll make a motion to approve the special permit for the construction of a shed on the pre-existing non-conforming lot.
I'll second that.
All right, we have some discussion on that. We have a checklist,
We do, yep. Shall we go through it?
please.
So in acting upon an application for a special permit, the board shall take into consideration, one, the appropriateness of the specific site as a location for the use. It's residential area. Yep. It's kind of the only place they can really put.
Right, right, due to the shape of their lot and the topography, kind of limited to sneaking it somewhere outside of the building setback, so,
Yeah, I mean, even just looking at
Makes
this,
sense.
not even having been there, like, nothing else jumps out to me as like a reasonable location for this.
no, and not to be functional.
Yeah.
And the neighbors, the closest abutter is in favor,
Yeah.
and the applicant appears to be making effort to, add some more bushes and stuff to hide it, so.
Yep. Yeah, I think shed's a pretty reasonable thing to ask for.
Yep. What's next?
The adequacy of public sewerage and water systems.
Yeah,
It's not really applicable.
Right.
The effect of the developed use upon the neighborhood.
Mm.
Seems like the abutters are in favor of it and it's
Yep.
gonna
I
make
think there
improvement.
won't be any detrimental effects.
Whether there'll be undue nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians, and whether the adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided to ensure the proper operation of the proposed use, structure, or condition. It seems like they meet both those criteria.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think so.
That's it?
Are we imposing any conditions?
Just as submitted on the, what do we have, site plan, do we have architectural one too? I think so. Just that they build what they said they're gonna build.
Yep, usual.
So this one here, barnyard.
All right, so appears to meet all the criteria for a special permit. We had a motion and a second, so all those in favor? Aye. The ayes have it.
I'll get it typed up, get the clerk will sign off on it, with a 20-day appeal period, and after that, you get the building permit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice night.
I'll entertain a motion to open a work session on the petition of Teresa Kearns.
Make a motion to open a work session?
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The applicant is seeking a special permit to construct a detached garage on another pre-existing non-conforming lot. entertain a motion on this.
I'll make a motion to approve this special permit.
Second on that?
I'll second that.
All right, we have some discussion.
Again, it seems like it's the only reasonable place they can put this particular garage.
Yep. There's a good amount of tree cover on this property too. I don't know if you guys know this one. It's like a straight shot up, like right before Tony's, and it's like way up there. And yeah, that's an intense driveway. Yeah. I visited this place during the zoning controversy, you know, and that guy is a butter. He's not like my butter, but he's on that property, but he never came to the meetings or anything. But that's why I visited before the previous occupant. But yeah.
All right, we want to run down our special permit checklist.
Sure. So it says, in acting upon an application for a special permit, the board shall take into consideration, number one, the appropriateness of the specific site as a location for the use.
Yeah, I think the topography and shape of the lot,
Mm-hmm.
like you say, really the only functional spot.
Yeah, I mean, top of the driveway, it's a logical place for the garage. Yeah, I know, I mean, I know it's close to the lot line, but there's like a pretty big drop off right there too. It's not like the next nearest house is like down the cliff from it. It's not like gonna be right next to them.
Okay.
Number two, the adequacy of public sewage and water systems is not necessarily applicable.
Shouldn't need that yet.
Effect of the developed use upon the neighborhood seems to be improvement.
Yeah.
Whether there will be undue nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians. It sounds like actually they'll be making these a little bit better,
Yeah.
looking at
Yeah.
where their current garage is.
Yeah, I know, it's really down the bottom.
Yeah. And then the last one is whether adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided to ensure the proper operation of the proposed use, structure, or condition. Seems like it's gonna be a residence.
Mhm.
Yeah. Simple garage. All right, we had a motion and a second, and it appears to meet our criteria for a special permit. All those in favor of granting the permit?
Aye.
Aye.
I would like do we have the architectural plan? I don't have a copy of that one.
I have one in the office. Do you wanna reference that? You want me to reference that?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
It's the same one that we showed.
That they
you
showed us,
tonight.
yeah.
okay.
On-site and architectural plan.
All right. Entertain a motion to adjourn the hearing. Meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
See you next month.